How you doing? It's me, Fatu. And I want to talk about all the decks I bought in the year of 2025. And I word it that way because I did not track my purchases. And when I was preparing for this video and rounding up the decks, I realized that I had bought quite a lot of them in the last 12 months. So that I we're gonna start tracking again. We're gonna start tracking our purchases. Um, but in any case, let me show you in no particular order, just kind of what I've set out. Let me show you the decks, both Tarot and Oracle, that I purchased. Maybe talk a little bit about why I added them to my collection and maybe what I hope to get out of them or what I have been getting out of them. I did try to group the decks in like loose categories. Um, so I guess I'll start with like the most basic category, which is RWS and RWS. So this is the classic tarot deck, classic 1909 tarot deck. This was made by a small publisher called View Monde. And honestly, you need to check him out. He does great work. He restores and creates facsimiles of a lot of popular historical decks. The one I have here is the 1909 facsimile with the roses and lily backs. And it has linen. And the reason why I chose to get another RWS, I mean, the thing is, like, I have like a lot of, you know, like our Rider Waite Smith clones in that, like, I consider clones like just multiple versions of Pamela Coleman Smith's line work. Um, and I, even though I really liked the Centennial edition, and I still do, just having a copy of a facsimile that is the old school 1909 Roses and Lilies with the backs, which is honestly what I thought that the Centennial would do, but they chose not to, which is fine. But having this having the Rider Waite Smith in linen with the roses and lily backs is, I think, what I was most excited for. And I think this retailed very reasonable, like $35 or something. Viewmont has both a shop on Amazon and a shop on Etsy as well. And they're very easy to work with, very low hassle purchasing. You can ask them questions and that type of thing. They'll try to get back to you. So yeah, I think I have like maybe, is this only my second deck from them? No, it's my third. It's my third deck from Viewmont. Um, really cool quality, you know. Some you can tell with when it comes to facsimiles, you can tell almost like for people who do them, you can tell who really cares about the art and the art history of it versus people trying to, you know, do a thing and make a little this. Um, and so I think Iman really does care about the artistic and the historical relevancy of the Rider Waite Smith and other historical decks. So if you're interested in something like this, go check them out for real. Really good stuff. So this is Todd Alcott's The Sci-Fi Tarot. I custom made this 10 because from Make Playing Cards because when I got these cards in hand, um, I fell in love and I knew I knew that this would be one of my most used decks um, in my collection. For me, for people who I read with, like I love sci-fi generally, and I feel that Todd Alcott, he just the way that he riffs off of the media that was like around, like vintage media, and how he clearly interprets the tarot, and how the meanings are so easily readable and accessible through his art. Um, it's really I freaking love this deck. I love it. It's great to like um, have for like parties and stuff be- because it's fun to talk about. Like it's a conversation, but also it's so readable. Both the querent and the reader can like look at the cards and know what's going on. So I knew it was going to be a favorite, and I went ahead and I just created a cheap kind of like you can tell I just took the pictures because here's the glare. I took a picture of my phone of the cover of the box, which is the similar box to the horror tarot and Todd Alcott's first tarot. I forget the name of it. And then I just like uploaded it to MPC, and because I wanted to have something that was stable. Honestly, the book like boxes that Todd Alcott's decks come in, they're not very they're not very sturdy. So the horror tarot one that I have, the binding started like ungluing. So I was like, this is not something I could throw in my purse or anything. So with the 10, I can bring this baby anywhere. So yeah, love that. This one I was really excited for. It was one of those things where you're scrolling social media and you notice someone like doing their daily spread and you're like, wait a minute, what's that? And so this is the Rockstar Tarot uh, by Mary De Lorenzo Woods. I love this tarot. I've been looking for like a musician based, artist based, like kind of tarot deck. And a lot of the ones that I've seen, like mass market, have an illustration style that I don't like. And I think it's for copyright to avoid copyright reasons. So it's illustrated, and the style of illustration is more like kind of like either vector like or just very flat, and like they're like caricatures of the musicians that they feature instead of like the musicians that they feature. Um, and so I found saw this on social media. It's an independent deck or indie made deck, indie published deck. Wonderful color guidebook. Um, Linen cardstock. The cards are a little bit bigger than your typical tarot size card, but each card features um, an influential, legendary musician or band, covering all genres, all different types of artists. The fact that Cher is Queen of Wands, like the associations between the card meanings and the artistic choice of like which musician to feature is so for me so spot on. Um, the backs are cute. Like you, this like as far as indie deck creation goes, with this concept, I feel like the creator like did a almost perfect job, like in fulfilling whatever vision she was setting out to fulfill with this deck. Like, there's not one thing I can say. I'm like, oh, I would have liked, you know, um, colorful collage. Most of the artists I know, every once in a while, there's an artist that I will have to look at the guidebook. The guidebook is not really like I don't know, it's not really guidey. It's not something that you learn, foundational tarot with. But um, and also I kind of the only thing I can say is I kind of wish that the book talked a little bit more the art about the artists themselves. And actually, wait, does it? Hold on, let me see. Okay, George Harrison. Okay, I lie. Okay, so yeah, it talks a little bit about the artists themselves, what makes them so special, and then it goes into the meaning of the card. So like for George Harrison, um, of the Beatles, yeah. Um, it says if George has risen into your cards, the sun offers a warm embrace. Da, 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 Um, so yeah, okay, all right. See, it's a solid deck, is what I'm saying. It's a solid deck, and it was one of those things where I saw it and I was like, and I know that when I start acting like that, that I like, okay, Tashawn, if you don't get it, you are probably gonna regret it if it ever sells out. And I'm not sure if it's still in stock. I don't know, but you can certainly take a look. I think she's on Instagram as Rockstar Tarot, Lacrimosa Tarot. I think I bought in 2025. This is by Rose Bay. If you are a deck collector, you're probably familiar with Rose Bay's work. She's a wonderful collage artist, and she did a really interesting thing with the Lacrimosa Tarot. Um, it's basically she took like classical images, I think made by one particular artist, and kind of like repositioned them, cropped them, to be able to reinterpret the 78 cards of the tarot. And for a lot of people, here are the backs. It's giving like this old vintagey, like, I don't know, hidden mystery occult book in a dark study kind of vibe. um, but it gives goth. It gives goth, and that's part of like for me. It's charm. It's dark. So when I'm in those moods of like feeling like very dark wave, new wave, gothy, or even emo, like this deck seems to capture those feelings quite well. I There's several versions I think available on MPC. I bought the one in the tuck box without gilding, and then I took like a red pastel. I don't know if you can see it, but no, I took a red pastel crayon and I like colored the sides. So you could see like there's some like smudging of the pastels on the cards in different ways, which for me adds another element of like rough and used and you know messy and dark, right? And yeah, so yeah, that's the Lacrimosa Tarot. Another one that caught me by surprise. It snuck up on me. Not gonna lie, I had just bought the Sistine Tarot, and which might have also been in 2025. I can't remember, but I was like, okay, I'm good. I got my rose bay decks, and then all of a sudden, this girl gonna show up talking about Lacrimosa, Lacrimosa. I'm like, I'm gonna have to get this one too. Um, let's see, in the Rider Waite tradition, this is the last deck I bought in 2025. This is the Barbara Walker Tarot. This is a vintage um, edition by A.G. Mueller for US Games. I went for the vintage edition because for some reason, I thought that the vintage cards were going to be closer to regular size or large size, but they seem to be the same size as the pocket edition. So, hey, it is what it is. But what I find is now that I have, you know, this like this size, it's very hand like it's easy to manage. It's not tiny, right? It's not tiny. It's nice. It's a good size for the hands. You don't have to strain, but also you're not underwhelmed by the size. It's a good size, I would say. But I was looking forward to something fuller size to where I can really look at the images. I tend to gravitate towards big cards. What is there to say about this deck that probably hasn't already been said? Um, I love so I bought this around like leading up to my 40th birthday, and I wanted to buy a deck that captured this kind of like powerful, witchy, uh, divine, feminine, but occult and powerful and scary deck. And I thought that the Barbara Walker Tarot would nicely meet that criteria. I definitely need to get there's a fuller guidebook, I think. Yeah, there's a fuller guidebook. Um, because I need to know a little bit more about what's going on. A lot of it is based on mythologies, some of which I am familiar with, others I am not. Doesn't make the cards any less readable, um, but I think it's something cool to have in my collection, especially learning that Barbara Walker passed away, at the end of 2025. May she rest in peace and power. So, yeah, so that's the Barbara Walker Tarot. In the realm of Kickstarters that came in, I got um, in at the end of 2025, while I was away for my birthday around Christmas, the Neptune Power Tarot. I have been following um, Charlie Quintero's work on this project. Like, how long did it take? Maybe like a couple of years for her. And I think this is a collaboration with her, with Charlie Quintero and other illustrators and artists. So it's a collaborative deck, but the energy is, even though some of the art styles vary, the energy is still very much this kind of dark. I would say, like, some people could say witchy. I was reading with it the other day, and for some reason, I was getting like some fairy, some fairy energy, like some kind of like arcane kind of energy with it. And I already have the Star Power Tarot, and I bought the Star Power Tarot in a time where I felt like I was like, I don't know, girl interrupted, like I was in the middle of like some type of existential crisis, like Fleabag. Like it's my Fleabag deck. It was my I'm just a girl deck, you know. Um, and so I had not used that deck in a while because I had since grown from that moment. And I was reluctant to say that I was ever going to buy another Charlie Quintero deck, a part of this series of Planet Energy decks. Um, but when she started sharing the illustrations on her Instagram, I was like, this is dope. This is dope. Some of it is straight on, some of it is a little more abstract. But I think I just really love the art. And I'm telling you, when I was reading with this, it was giving me the energy that I wanted a fairy deck to give me. I have like three. Do I have three? Yeah. Two, three. Well, anyway, I've been looking for a therapy deck that I could use. And even though this is not meant to be fairy, um, it's the whimsy. There's like a dark, whimsical nature of the art, you know. that I really gravitate towards. So, yeah, so that is Neptune Power Tarot. Um, and yeah, I was so happy. You know, when you get home and you're like, "Oh, mail!" Like I got home from my trip, like, "Oh, that was the best birthday ever." And then, but to my surprise, this came in the mail. I was like, "Oh my god!" Yeah, very cool. Nice. Six Sad Girls. Okay. Then I got um, the Ebony Tarot. The Ebony Tarot was created. Hmm, Lisa Sevigny. She says, I have created a unique tarot deck that showcases Afro descendant artists and personalities from Greater Montreal. Each card features photographs taken in nature, capturing the essence and beauty of my city. This project, with its modern flair, offers a visual experience reminiscent of a very timeless photo album. And so this is like a very clone like. It reminds me of Tarot Bohemian Secrets or the whatever the old name of it was, the Ghetto Tarot. Hold on one second. Okay, finally got the box open. Um, Backs here. And again, it was one of those things that I was not looking for. I was just scrolling. See, that's how social media gets you. That's why you got to take your social media breaks. But the fact that I do photography, finding another like photography deck, and one like I think I feel like a couple of years ago I was talking about like, ooh, it would be nice if I could do a photography deck that creates scenes. So it's not just like for street photography interpreted because I can do, like I've done that. I'll show you soon, but like to stage scenes, from the tarot and take photography of them. And this is what she did. I think it was also featured um, in an art exhibit too. The photography is absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Linen finish and very creatively like depicted the meanings. You know, it's not just like for the minors. It's not pips. It's really like interpreting in her own, and it's not clone like either. It's her interpreting um, her own, using her own interpretation of the tarot. Mhm. Mhm. And the models are so emotive. And I love how she talks about, like, no, this was taken in my city, Montreal, this is my city. This is the beautiful. I love how she's celebrating, like, where she's from, too. Beautiful Queen of Cups. So, yeah, so that's the Ebony Tarot. I've only worked with it a couple of times. It was one of those things where, like, I bought it for the culture. I liked the concept, and I wanted to, of course, any opportunity I get to support um, a Black artist or artist of color, I try my best. Get into Pippish cards. We'll start with like the only um, the only deck of playing cards I bought this year, and these are I bought them off tarotarts.com, and oh yeah, Flowers of Fire playing cards. I saw them and I thought they were so cool and funky. um, and they basically the images are based on like fireworks the firework patterns, but I like it. I like it. I like it. It was cool, and I like the black background. I like the kind of vintagey finish that it has. Of course, linen cardstock. I This is a Joker card, by the way. Um, I I don't know. I just have a thing for like it's just funky, and so I have a standard playing cards deck that I read with. That I take it with me, um, and I take it with me to wherever I go because it's nice and small, and I can read at bars and restaurants and when I'm out with friends and that type of thing. So that is my playing card deck. It's an Uzi playing card deck. Um, but I like the idea of carrying this around too. It doesn't, I wouldn't say it works well in like dimly lit settings because of the dark background, but the color scheme I think is so like retro and cute. And I got it came in like a regular box, card box. So I got like a leather playing card pouch thing. Um, so to hold them in so I can take them with me everywhere if I wanted to. So that is the fire flower tarot. I mean, playing cards. And next in Pipland, we have the medieval Scapini. I don't know. I love it. I love it, but I bought it like in 2023 and then I returned it. And then it was on my mind again in 2025 and I bought it again and I kept it. And I love the art. I love the cards. I love this kind of like matte golden thing that it does in the backgrounds, and then touches of the art. Um, I There were a couple of cards that gave me pause, and I had to like really reflect on like you know what is the intention behind these cards. But after I got over that, I was like, I really want it. I really it's a beautiful deck. It's a beautiful deck. And it captures very creatively, the meanings of the tarot, even with, being pippish. I also want the Romeo and Juliet one that I think he did as well, but I think that's out of print. But yeah, the medieval Scapini tarot is here to stay, at least for a little while. Now, this one I've been eyeing for a while, and this is the Allen Tarot deck. I believe it is out of print, so this is a vintage copy that I found on eBay. Of course, it was me continuously seeing uh, spreads with it on social media where I was like, oh, I think I do really want this deck. Um, it is a full tarot, but the pips are very like playing card ish, Um, the the majors are like what they are. I think they are loosely related to the meanings, but it's not as clear. But the face cards is what I'm mostly in love with. The face cards are just absolutely beautiful to me. And the pip cards are simple. And sometimes, especially someone like me who does use playing cards regularly, I don't mind it. I actually love the simplicity of it because it balances out the, I guess, elaborate and extravagance of the illustrative style, I guess, of the face cards and the major arcana. Let's find another face card. Oh, here's the Fool. And then here is, I think this is the King of Diamonds. Sometimes I have trouble remembering which are the king and what is the king and what is the knight? Um, because they're both holding things. So yeah, I love this deck. I want a reason to pull it out so I can impress people by using it. Um, it's cute. It's like understated, but like people will be like, ooh, you know, but it's not over the top to where people are like, huh. We're like, ooh. And you're like, yeah, it's my dad. Yeah. What's your question? All right. That's Alan Tarot. This one, I was eyeing this for a long time. It came out on Kickstarter. It came out on Kickstarter. I missed the Kickstarter because I was brokey broke and I couldn't commit to my pledge. Um, and then I was like, man, let me see if there's something I can, maybe she has like spares or whatever. So I DM'd her on Instagram and she indeed had, I was like, how can I get this tarot deck? She's like, oh, I have a few left. And so I was able to purchase it directly from her. And it's I mean, arguably like the most beautiful deck I have in my collection right now. I mean, that's a hard claim to make because I have so many different types of decks, but it is literally art and hand illustrated Marseille or Marseille style, I would say, and just absolutely beautiful art card. So the only thing I would say, like if she had like another version in cheaper cardstock or like a linen, I would go to town in this deck. I would shuffle the crap out of it. I would use it. I would bring it with me everywhere. But this deck is literally art. I do not feel comfortable shuffling with this because I don't want to hurt it. It will not bend, it will crease. Um, the backs are very lovely as well. Just well done. Well done. And it comes off as like this historic deck, but it's not. It's her original illustrations and in this, you know, in the style that we all love, this Marseille or this Taroki, you know, style, beautifully colored. And then you can see like there's like speckles on the cards. I don't know if that's like water spots or something. Absolutely beautiful. I'm so glad I got to get this. I was like, man, I'm gonna reach out and she's gonna say, yeah, she ain't got no more. And when she was like, no, no, I got some, I'm like, yes, please. And she said some of the models are based on, I think, friends and family, which I think is what a lot of illustrators do. When they create images, they use the faces that are familiar to them or faces that they can refer to in real life as a reference. I want to use this more. I'm just afraid. I'm like, should I round the corners? Maybe that'll make me feel better. They're also larger than your standard tarot size. So overhanding may be a challenge for me if I overhand horizontally. Uh, or overhanding vertically might have cards flying everywhere when I do it, at least. But and then here's the Fool. So good, so good. All right, so so that is the Tarocchi Italiani dipinti a mano da Valentina De Luca. Oh my God, let me say it again. Tarocchi Italiani dipinti a mano da Valentina De Luca. De Luca. I didn't want to like sound Spanish. Okay. You understood what I was saying. The last Pippish deck I got was actually my own. um, this is Tina's Tarot. This is a tarot deck I created in memory of my late uh, grandmother, Evan, also known as Tina. And I created it in a playing card style and also including 22 major arcana cards. Um, I was still trying to figure out whether I wanted to sell this like to others. Right now, it's just this is the only copy that I have. Um, and I decided that I would. But I don't know if I want to go back on MPC again. I'm going to try to do Games Crafters or maybe both. But I'm a little confused about how to use Game Crafters or how to upload art. So once I figure that out, I'll definitely, I think I will go ahead and like make this available. I low key want to just buy a batch of the units and sell myself, like through an Etsy or something like that. So I'm still figuring out how would want to, but I have decided that I do want to share this deck. These are the backs. This is with all of my original photography, um, and it is Pippish. And I just simplify. There's a version that I made where I try to do traditional pips, and then I was like, yeah. And then I went for just like numbers, like numerology really sticks out to me as pattern and as a pattern in reading. So to have like a big fat number in the middle, I was like, yeah, let's just do that. Let's just do that. Let me see if I can find some photographic cards. Oh, Justice. I love this one. I love that. That was a good day when I took this photograph. It was like summer, and people were just like, "No, no, cool." These are my jokers. So I use the joker cards as yeses and nos. So heads is yes, tails is no. I did that. My dog always has to have a feature in my decks, of course. Here he is as the moon side eyeing you and not telling you like, well, what's the problem? It's like you'll never know. So I think the closer I get to publishing it, I'll do like all the things, a walkthrough and explanation, and just talk a little bit about why I did it. And but I do use this deck regularly. I took it with me during my 40th birthday cruise. Did like my little birthday reading with it, and yeah, I like the energy of it. Um, and yeah, I would like to share it in her memory, in her honor. You know, so I think, especially thinking about other indie creators um, who have created decks, in honor of maybe an experience or a person. There's an energy, there's a warm energy that always comes through, right? Because the intentions that are placed on the deck are so meaningful and made with love. And I do feel that, like when I get a deck from another person and that's what they imbue it with, I do feel it when I use it. And so I hope that that would be the same with in this case as well. So that was Tina's Tarot. All right, the last four. We're not making any. We're trying not to go too long in 2026. Oracle decks. I'm gonna just get straight to the point. Um, Rose Bay and Sasha Lopez. Together, they might have taken all my money in 2020. So first it was When Olga Speaks, the Kickstarter, successful Kickstarter. Very happy that this came through. And because I'm telling you, years I've been waiting. No, okay, I'm exaggerating. 2 years I've been waiting on this deck and hoping because we've been seeing um, like prototypes and prototype versions of the deck or NPC versions of the deck. I missed out on the MPC version. But then I was like, no, Tashawn, wait for the fully realized vision of this deck. And so I waited, and it is the reason why I wanted it for so long is because the system is, so, first of all, the art is amazing. Okay, that's a given. But again, going back to the energy, right? This was made in honor of Sasha's grandmother, and all of the wisdom that you perhaps have gained, not just through life, but through her. And you feel that. And the system of it is so organized and so clear. So there's different suits, right? And they are, um, and you can do lots of different things with that, right? You can do themed readings, right? You can just read with them flat out. Like it's very interesting how she did her system. And the collage style I really like. It's not too busy. It's has exactly what it needs and no more, which is the type of collage that I think I'm gravitating towards nowadays. Mattes, black gilding, just really nice. So I got that through Kickstarter. And then as soon as I got that, homegirl gonna talk about she's going out with the long way home. But then that was after Rosebay was like, well, I'm creating these blue bones. And I'm like, oh my God. What are y'all doing to me? So I got both The Long Way Home, a visual diary by Sasha Lopez, which she which she sells directly through her shop, and beautiful rose petal finish, thinner cardstock than your typical rose petal, so it's easy to shuffle, riffle, or whatever. Beautiful artwork, and these two decks are very poetic in nature. And as someone who is currently writing, I got really excited with these two decks because like it was giving like journal practice. It was giving free write ideas. Um, it was it's very they're very truth telling in nature, very reflective. Yeah, I would say that very reflective. And let me show you a few of these blue bones. The Long Way Home it's um, I think it's like Sasha's, or I mean, she has a video on it explaining the concept, but it's a companion maybe to When Olga Speaks, maybe in a way, and that When Olga Speaks is more of maybe a somber. I'm trying to think of the word, not grief, but it's a mourning kind of energy, right? It's honoring something that has passed. Whereas The Long Way Home seems to be more about looking ahead and seeing what comes out of the future. Like there's like a less darker angle to it, I think. I just bought these blue bones and the cards themselves, and I put them in this blue pouch. Um, it, I'm telling you, man, like in those moments where you are in that mood where you're like, I feel a certain way but I don't know how to express it, or I don't know how to articulate it. A deck like this comes along and is like, and it captures these all of the colors of sadness and grief and loneliness, but also love and like the dark side of love. It's very like, I don't know, it's giving Scorpio a little bit, that Scorpio energy. It's very inward looking, very Neptune. And the fact that they're thematically blue. So I told you about bluettes in the last one. So reading bluettes while studying this deck, like, oh my God, it just put me in a whole different a whole different mind space. The monster you feed. Like, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me? Again, that simple kind of structured collage style, very basic but very intentional. The vintagey, what is it, finish? And the cardstock. This is my first time working with with MPC's Eco Herbage cardstock, and it's really nice. I really like it. For anyone who's curious about the Eco Herbage, because I was like, I don't know what that is. I don't want to try it, but it's really nice. I might try to do a few decks through with that cardstock in the future. But yeah, so these Boubones um, as well. And the last Oracle deck that I got in the year 2025 is called Vintagia. And it's by a group, um, I guess a collective of philosophers called Acid Horizon. They have a podcast as well. This was created by the person named Serapy, um, and it is an I Ching oracle. This was probably my introduction to I Ching, which is probably not the way to do it. So I am going to look for like a couple of other I Ching decks that are more traditional, so I can truly learn and study it. But again, photography, and I think I might do a separate video on all the photography decks I have, because it's one of those things where it's not necessarily divisive, but like either people love it or they hate it. It's rarely an in between with photography decks. People are like, I can't read with it; it's too real. Um, but I love, and I think I love the retroness of the photography. So if you can give it like a retro feel, like even better, the backs. And so Serapy said that this oracle is I guess best seen as it says psychogeography and creative discovery. So again, one of those things that you can use for writing, for journaling. I mean, divination if you want. It is based on the I Ching, but I think I bought it most so as a writing tool. And it makes a play off of like videotapes. So at the bottom of a card, like you have this, the symbol of like fast forward, play, stop, record, slow down, rewind. And that also has a meaning that you layer on top of the I Ching, uh, the I Ching hexagram or image symbol. Serapty also has a Discord for people who are using the deck. I haven't quite like gotten started with it significantly to engage with the Discord much, but I think that's so cool. Like when you have interesting, eclectic decks with new and creative systems, having a community where people can ask questions, where people can talk about it, I think is actually a really good idea, and I wish more people did it. So, anyway, so that is the Vintagia Oracle deck for psychogeography and creative discovery. I think that's it. All right. Thank you for sitting with me. Let me know what you think of any of these, whether you have them in your collection, whether you want them in your collection. Did they resonate with you in the same way that they did with me, or in another way, or do you use them in a different way than I said I would use mine? I don't know. Any thoughts are welcome. And give your sister some love too if you feel like it. And in the meantime, have a great, wonderful day. Bye bye.